Hi everybody, this is Janet Wright, and in this video we will do more practice clairvoyantly reading other people's energy, and I'm gonna do another one where I just read a client and what she could look at in herself, and there's so many good options. I think the angels finally decided on, because there's like a million they want me to do, but I can't do that many videos in one day. Okay, so they finally picked. Okay, so this example is relevant to everybody. So first, well, okay, I'll tell you the example. It is a client and her parents. So she's an adult and she's all grown up. And she actually lives with her parents. She's married, but she and her husband live with her parents. But this applies to people who don't live with their parents too, definitely. The situation could still be happening with others. Basically, I'm gonna look at her and her parents and kind of the way she could look at her interaction with each of her parents, and what she might learn from that. And so you could do the same thing. Like you could maybe just listen once and just learn from what I'm saying, and then maybe the second time you hear the video, you do it as a like a guide, and while I'm talking about her and her parents, you could look at you and your parents, and see what you notice. Okay, and it's fine even if you can't see energy yet and you just see all black. You still have imagination. It's not like you're going to be like, oh, I can't read a book because I'm not clairvoyant. Imagination, the kind of imagination where you imagine a plot line in a book, that's perfect for this. Because clairvoyance with the third eye, seeing energy, a lot of times it's just like outlines, and the rest of it is interpreting. So it's sort of a harmony between intuition, which is 7th chakra and throat chakra, and 6th chakra, which is the seeing of the outlines, and so a lot of times it takes a while to be able to see the outlines, and not just see all black, but you can use your intuition already and interpret and just chill out about it and keep practicing, and then sure enough, after a while you'll be like, I actually did see that. So just relax and go along with it. Okay. So like I always say, if you're reading just yourself, you can be totally messed up, and in fact that's the best time to read yourself, is when you are messed up, because then you're like fixing yourself, but when you read other people, even if it's like this, you in interaction with other people, it is best to first heal yourself and get yourself more centered, so that that you're going to be looking from non-judgment, and you're going to have good boundaries about it. Okay. And we're going to ask for angel help too, but we want to make the angels work easier. Okay, so first just center yourself, and I'm assuming that you're pretty centered before you do this video. If you're really out of it, like I said, do one of my other videos first. Okay, so like maybe a tricolor soak video or gold energy aura buffer zones video to repair your aura. Gold energy aura buffer zones. Okay, so big wide grounding, as wide as your whole aura, red or orange or yellow. And let's do a 1-color soak. Grounding goes all the way down to the core of the earth, so you use that like a straw. So I have a yellow grounding, so I'm going to have a yellow straw, and I'm going to bring up yellow earth energy all the way from the core of the earth, up, all the way up to the top of my aura, and I'm going to soak my body and my aura in that yellow earth energy. So I invite you to do the same with red or orange or yellow earth energy. And that's an earth energy soak, which is a little bit like being in a really nice forest. So just, you can leave that earth energy up if you want. It's nice and centering. Okay, so I'm going to do another example of a client who's in this current triplet set, but one that the angels pick out so that it's a very universal example. And like I said, it's this woman and her parents. And so what she can do and what you can do is you just imagine your movie screen out in front of you, like a clairvoyant movie screen, and you can even get rid of your old one, make a new one. It's not a big deal. You can make it like clear if you want, you know, with like little gold frame around it or something. Whatever, gold flowers, gold sparkles on it, whatever you want. But you have your screen. I don't really usually think about the screen much. I just kind of know it's there. But if you want to, you know, dress it up a little, that's fine too. And then just imagine you on one side of the screen, and then the people that you also want to read, like your interactions with, on the other side of the screen, just so you're keeping everything straight. And so I'm imagining this client and her parents, and she can do the same. She can put herself on the screen and then her parents on the other side of the screen, right? And what I'm noticing is her mom is handing her energy. It's like these snowballs, these white snowballs, but they're not thrown at her, they're just handed to her. They're funny. They're like, I think they're pretty gentle energy, but it's definitely her mom's energy. So her mom is like handing her energy, but this client, she knows better usually. So what she'll do is she'll just give that energy back to her mom's angels, you know, because like her mom keeps thinking, oh, this is my daughter, I should give her my energy. She doesn't really understand. So rather than offend her mom and be like, Mom, stop giving me your energy, she just kind of automatically hands it back to her mom's angels, which seems to be working well. So that's okay. So then I'm looking at her and her dad, you know, this client and her dad. Now her dad has sort of a funny thing though, almost like two-sided. Like he puts forward, like near her, these books, like heavy books, like advice, or this is what I wish I knew when I was your age. Don't do this. This is better. You know, it's like, it's just a lot of advice, all these books. And if I look at her aura, he's kind of putting them in her aura actually. Whereas her mom kind of was more like handing them and holding them near her so she could take them, which is a little more respectful. But I think her dad, he doesn't understand it as disrespectful, which is very common within families, which is why people fight a lot with their family members, because somehow, somewhere along the way, like people forget that putting stuff in somebody else's aura is really going to stress them out. Like they don't understand, oh, that's a bad thing that I dump all this heavy advice on my daughter every day. So the thing is, she's not, I mean, he's dumping all this energy like into the outer layer of her aura, which is the 7th layer, which is for her making her own decisions and her own autonomy, her own confidence, you know, which I'm sure she's going to be like, oh, because, you know, she could use some more confidence in life, you know, and all those books are still sitting there. It seems like whenever she meditates, she'll get rid of half of them. Like just subconsciously, she won't try, but when she grounds and really thinks about her grounding and washes out her aura with gold light, half of the books go away of his advice energy. Because you don't want someone else's energy in your space. It'll just block you up, even if, you know, he has good intentions with it, but that's not the point. So anyway, she's not really letting go of all these books, and they really pile up because she's always keeping half of them. So, I mean, she's got like all these bookcases of his advice in her 7th layer. It's almost like a dad library, you know, in her 7th layer. And so that's something that, you know, by watching the interaction between them, she could notice her dad library. Whereas, you know, she has meditated. I mean, not as much as she would like to, but she has meditated for years. And she's never noticed that she had a dad library in her aura of dad advice books. But this is very common, particularly male family members, dads. I think moms can do stuff like this, of course, but anyway, by watching the interaction, I think she's more likely to notice the books and notice that she's not releasing them all. And then, you know how like it's like gradual. You kind of look and you're like, oh, the books are still there. Do I ever clear them out? I clear out half of them. Are they all still there? And then you kind of notice the bookshelves. You're like, oh, you know, so clairvoyance, a lot of it has to do with curiosity. You know, ask questions. Ask yourself questions. Well, do the books ever go away? No, they're still there. You know, it's like, because you won't necessarily, I mean, I don't see it all in one instant, you know. It's all about the questions that you ask, you know. So actually the healings in this triple set, part of the healings are supposed to awaken your clairvoyant curiosity so that you ask questions like, are the books still there? How many are there? Whoa! You know. So anyway, a great thing for her is to get rid of her dad library, you know, and I don't even think he would notice, because I don't think he realizes that he's weighing her down at all. So it wouldn't even offend her if she got rid of her dad library, because he doesn't know that she has a dad library. Like, it's totally off his radar. He'll just dump a bunch of books in her space and move on, you know, for the day. So, you know, there's that. So let's see if there's anything else that the angels want me to point out about their dynamic. Yeah, because I did say that there were two sides to his interaction with her. So there's this one side, which is this, you know, friendly fatherly advice stuff, which is kind of heavy. But then the other side is he does kind of like, it's like he pulls her back, almost like if she were like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, like running into traffic, and you kind of pull your kid back from traffic, you know, and because you don't want to have your kid harmed, you know. And a lot of times parents, you know, a little part of them still thinks you're 2 or 3. Like it's hard. It's very common that a parent still has a little part. Even if, you know, I mean, in this case, the dad's probably like 70 and she's, you know, in her 30s. So she doesn't need to be pulled back from traffic anymore, you know. But what he does is he goes into the back of her aura and he just kind of, you know, pulls her back. You know, he like holds her around the chakras and literally pulls her back. So it's like she'll be going forward on her path and then he'll literally pull her back. So she'll have this sense of like, I'm stuck. Why am I stuck? You know, like I'm doing all the right things, but I'm stuck. You know, so that again is another thing that she might notice if she chilled out and just watched the dynamic between them and from non-judgment, you know, because you got to be not judging. You know, you can't think, oh, my dad, I love him so much. He must be doing wonderful things. Nothing is wrong. He's great. You know, like, don't demonize. He's pulling her back. He has great intentions. You know, it doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It doesn't mean she's bad because she lets him pull her back and she's a grown woman. You know, if you have non-judgment, you're not freaked out about noticing the truth. And that's wonderful. You know, because then nobody's a bad guy. You just notice information and then you have time to just relax and think about what to do about it, you know. And most of the time, there's general rules usually aren't great, you know, because every situation is different. But very often, it's not the best option to directly talk to the other person consciously about what you just observed, you know. Like I would not recommend that she talks to her 70-year-old dad and is like, Dad, stop pulling me back in life, you know. Because he has no idea he is pulling her back in life, you know? So if you say to him, Dad, stop pulling me back in life, I mean, he's either going to think she's crazy or he's going to have his feelings hurt, and it's completely unnecessary, you know? All she has to do is like kind of see that his energy is in the back of her aura and the back of her chakras and just kind of wash him out on a regular basis, you know? And just kind of remind herself as she's doing it, hey, I'm all grown up now. You know, I can look out for myself. I can watch my own back. you know, and just kind of notice, is she walking forward on her path and keeping that forward movement, you know, and not letting him kind of protectively pull her back from her own progress. So again, another great example of how, you know, conscious communication about what you see usually is not the best solution. Okay, great. So I hope that helped. Let's do a quick grounding and stacking and clearing, just in case that was a little triggering of whatever you observed or listened to in the video. So redo your grounding, red or orange or yellow. I'm going to do yellow. So nice big grounding as wide as your whole aura. And wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And just think about letting go. I can let go. Maybe wiggle your toes, touch your fingers. I can let go. And then do an earth energy soak. Just bring up that color of earth energy that you picked. So I'm going to pick yellow and go up, 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 up with the earth energy. And just soak your whole body, your whole aura in that color of earth energy, just like the trees would do for you in a forest. So now you're your own tree. Just soak in that earth energy, and then while it's still up, why not? We'll do just one stacking and clearing, and if you want to do more, there's a stacking and clearing 3 ways video, which is very fun. But anyway, so just one way, you just imagine a bunch of piles out in front of you of energy blocks that you would like to clear right now. Maybe they got triggered by what you just read. Maybe they got triggered some other time today. But anyway, whatever you want to clear right now that may be making you less centered or less flowing. And just make them piles out in front of you, and then bring up the red earth energy and soak those piles with the red earth energy, and then gold light from your hands. And just wash out the piles. You want to melt away any energy cords that are going into the piles from anybody else or from you. Just melt away the cords. And if you can't see, that's fine, because you can just do this with your intention. And then you move out of resistance. So just relax and be the flow, you know, because there's a subconscious part of you that's accidentally resisting and holding on to these energy blocks. So just talk to that part of you and be like, hey, I can let go. I can relax. I don't have to be the glue. I can be the flow. All right, great. So, and then just ask your angels for a healing and a blessing. Angels, can you please give me a healing and a blessing? That's my dog breathing. I don't know if you can tell. He's got a big nose, so you can hear him breathing. And then maybe a little flower healing for yourself. So just make a big bunch of flowers out of your own healing energy, whatever rainbow colors that you need right now. Just big, big, big bunch of healing energy flowers for yourself of your own healing energy, whatever rainbow colors you want. Don't think about it too much. And just ask your angels to double check your flowers. Just say, angels, can you please double check my flowers? And then go ahead and give those flowers to yourself. All right. Great job, guys. So I'd love to hear your feedback if you have any or follow-up questions. And if you give it a thumbs up, it could help YouTube to take this video more seriously and show it to other people. Okay, bye.